where we say what we want to say and shit on Asa all day until he puts us in his place and we keep talking shit. It's Go Live. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry we're late. It's not my fault today. It's not my fault today. Although it's kind of my fault because I forgot to give fucking Luke the fucking login stuff, but it's Ace's fault. It's Ace's fault. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Go Live. So I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. You know, everyone was saying, Gaas, you take the piss with that last week. I came in on time this week, and then Asa fucked it up. But we're gonna have a great show. Thank you so much for waiting patiently. It's been a pretty mad week. So every week is different. This week we saw the release of the big racer that we've been talking about for a while. The Forza, did it score high enough? Gran Turismo, visuals, what the fuck? All of that. And then we had AC Mirage as well. And the AC, like Ubisoft, can they bring it back? The core people wanted. This is the game that they wanted. And boom, the Metacritic reviews. What? Still a lot of things to unpack. I haven't even played that yet. And then you've got freaking Naughty Dog and freaking lost so much shit. Anyway, Asa, how are you?
Guys, you've spoken so much that YouTube is telling me now is a good time to insert ads into the show. So, I don't know, you got anything you want to sell? I haven't got anything I want to sell right now. I'm good. To address your point of me being late, I was pretty late today, but I was still here before Gaas had his shit sorted out because you did not send that link until long after I was here. So once again, I wanted to take this one on the chin. I wanted this one to be my fault and let Gaas have it, but no, he was still later. Sorry, everyone.
Damn it, man. All I had to do was send Luke the link, and I'm like, why is Luke not here? Then I look, bruv, Twitter's broken, man. The DMs, they just do not light up. That's what it is. I have to refresh all the time, but I've completely forgot to check. But he's still here. He's here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Luke still. I don't know what this Arabic music is.
What an intro. What an intro. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it partly actually was my fault that we were late. It was only like of the 15 minutes, I'd say like maybe 3 were attributable to you not giving me the link. So it's 12 minutes are actually on me. So yeah,
it's all good. So,
but happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's going to be a different show. We don't talk about bloody CMA, so you'll be happy with that. So that'll be good. And after next week, probably never talk about it again.
Until the next one.
Until the next one, indeed. Yeah. Oh, shit. And then, last but certainly not least, it is David Fame, level 1 gaming.
You know what? As the only black person on the panel today, I was the only one that wasn't on CP time. So it's kind of weird because I was like here early, just kind of hanging out. I was like, yeah, no CP time for me, but everybody else is late. But shout out to y'all, man. It's gonna be a hell of a show.
Oh, shout out to you, man. No, yeah, definitely. You were the first here. I came in, loaded it up. I was like, oh shit, he's been waiting for me. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on, gents. Everyone in chat. We made it. It's been a crazy one. We have to. Should we start with Forza? I mean, that's the big one. I mean, this is the one that we've been talking about so much. Rests on my Xbox Turn 10. They're the lead studio. This is it. They have, like all the skills. You can trust Turn 10. They won't let you down. And the reviews are out. And I genuinely love the game. I think it's an incredible game, but it's been divisive. Why? Because it's been bested by Gran Turismo 7 on the PlayStation 5. That is significant for a very long period of time. Forza Motorsport was considered the king of racers. Is it still a king of racers? Well, I'll talk to our gent about it. David, talk to me. Have you played this game?
I have not, because I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to Forza, I'm a motorsport. I'm a Horizon guy, right? Motorsport is not really a thing for me, right? I'm not a big fan. So even if I play, I'm like, oh, it's a sim racer, not really my genre. I think when people still think of Forza being king, they do think of Horizon. Maybe it's the casual racer in me, even though people say racing is a casual type of game. I haven't played it, but I do see the comparisons a lot to GT7, and I'm also hearing people feel like they sort of got bamboozled in a way because what they were previously seeing was PC gameplay and not necessarily Xbox gameplay in a way. But I do think Forza is still king. I think when you think racing games, you think Forza. It's just that Motorsport is behind a couple of things. It's behind GT, may not have been as bad as people said it was. And on top of that, it has to compete with its own brand in Horizon because Horizon is just that damn good. And you can go back to Horizon 4, Horizon 5, and go back to those games, and they're still great. Is Forza still king? Yes. Did Motorsport disappoint for a lot of people? Yes. Is it bad? Hell no. I think for people who enjoy sim racers and people who enjoy racing games, this is still a fantastic racer for them.
Yeah, no, I absolutely. I play the game, and I think this game, I was actually taken aback, and not genuinely, by how good the cars felt. I didn't expect to have that thing. You know, being the console warrior that I am, I went straight to look at it from the visuals perspective, and even the visual stuff is a little bit. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Fame mentioned the trailers not looking. The disparity, basically confirming that it was PC footage that they shown off, and the actual Xbox Series X version still fares very well, but not to that level of fidelity. Luke, I know you've been on holiday. You just probably came. Did you come back from Greece yesterday?
I came back today. Yeah, like a few
today.
hours ago.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh damn! So you probably wouldn't have played Forza.
No, and it's only only the premium unlock version at the minute? Yeah. So no, I've not played it yet. I am gonna play it when it comes out next week. I'm a bit of a weird kind of racing person, I suppose, because there's kind of been certain sim games I've been into, racing sim games over time, but I've never been like a huge fan. So for example, Forza Motorsport 4 I played a lot of back in the day, but then kind of 6 and 7 I didn't really play at all. GT kind of similar back in the day, but then actually funnily enough GT7 I picked up when it was on sale because I just wanted to see what it looked like visually, and I thought maybe I could have some fun with it, and I put in 40-50 hours into that game, and I ended up really enjoying it. So Motorsport is kind of well anticipated for me because of GT, ironically, getting me kind of somewhat back into sim races. So yeah, I'm looking forward to digging in. I'll be playing on PC, obviously, but it should be interesting. Some of the screenshots that are floating out there, some of the videos, it's all kind of, there's a lot of stuff, right? And so it's interesting.
Yeah, it's the discourse around it has been very animated, should we say. Asa, you wouldn't have missed that all that as Luke has been observing it, mostly because of my horrible Twitter feed. But Asa, have you played this game? I know it's pancake mode.
It is a pancake mode. I am not super interested in playing it, but I've got a little community of people that I play with on a Sunday who will play it. So I will play it at some point. I'm going to wait until the day 5 on Game Pass official release day. I'm not going with this day 0 line that they use, or day 1. It's day 5 on Game Pass. I'll give it a go at that point. From what I've seen of it, it's funny. I've seen some of the reviews and things. I obviously am devastated by the lack of VR, and Turn 10 have come out and confirmed that they're not even working on that. Like it's not going to be a thing in the PC space either, which we kind of already knew, but it's still disappointing to have it confirmed.
Oh, they actually came out and said it?
They said they've got no plans to do a VR mode for it whatsoever, which, if you're not going to aspire to be the best, then you're never going to be the best. So that's a shame for me.
Oh, wow.
But for the pancake mode, for all the things, all the criticisms that it gets, you put the performance aside and just look at the structure of the game, the way that you said that the campaign's going to be divisive. None of that stuff is upsetting to me. I've not seen anything around there that makes me think I'm not going to enjoy this Forza. The things that people enjoy about it, the driving model and all the rest of it, and the things that I've seen of it visually, they're all looking on point for me. So if they did give me a VR version, I think I would love it very much. But
yeah, I think playing this game, I was thinking of you'd be like, oh man, this would be so much better in VR, and it would be. because the game is very, very good, man. Like the handling of this game, I just didn't expect to be taken aback by it. Like I was just recently jumped back into Forza Motorsport 7 just recently, because in anticipation of this, because I fell away from the Motorsport series. So I did quite a few races, and going straight from that to this, I really was a big transformative feeling when using with the controls. I thought, and I have seen reviewers actually talk about it a lot. In a lot of praise is doled out to this modeling system. So it's not just me, but I feel like a lot of people who may just like kind of turn their nose up at another Forza Motorsport entry. This is the biggest, most substantial, literally diversion or development in that series since the first one, because the fundamental thing is the penalty system, which they borrowed from Gran Turismo, I understand, changes the game completely. Like before you would never be penalized for a contact, never be penalized for taking shortcuts across maps, and a lot of the tracks you can. It's just a bit weird. So it kind of that just for the first time ever I'm driving clean and forced to drive clean, and I like that. And then it's making me understand and appreciate the mechanics of it more. It tied in with its XP system that rewards you for racing really well. So you've got this dopamine release of the sounds coming in, ching ching ching, like hitting that, like you're driving clean, and I'm really it transformed the way I approach races. And I know GT probably does the same, and the impact was the same, but what I also felt, which is an area like I'm surprised that a lot of sim racers, well, they discovered some stuff as well, but I think the AI in the game is really good. Like all that Drivatar stuff, all of that, and they get rid of Drivatars, and I'm telling you, these cars behave like what you thought Drivatars would behave like. And I don't know what's their algorithm, but you often see.
Is this like the accepted pronunciation of it? Because I've always said drivatars because they're drivers, but is drivatars fine?
Well,
Okay, good.
Oh, it's a Drivatar. So it's me.
I thought it was just me. Thank you, Asa.
Oh God! So it's just not just me. Okay, I'm mad. All right, Drivatar. But yeah, like the AI is just amazing. They just keep they'll make mistakes and they just veer off, and you'll have at the front of the pack, you'll have this really tight battle because it's just so good, man, because you pick your podium position. It tells you, look, if you go this like number 10, you're looking to get maximum come third based on whatever your skills or whatever. And it's a bit of a hit on your ego. So then you start trying to drive better. Then you start, every lap is segmented into these mini laps, like mini sections. They've got names, and you're beating your previous time. Game is actively encouraging you to just get faster and faster, cleaner, cut those corners better. And that is such a brilliant thing without actually holding your hand. It's just give you issued this mini challenge that you need to do. So the loop is so good. But as I was playing it, and Colt, Eastwood, and everyone were playing it, me and Colt had the same, I enjoyed the career mode. And this is the part where if they didn't fuck up this would be quite high in the meta score. It's been docked on the career mode, principally the career mode. Now that doesn't to me it's a way better racer than GT7, but the VR mode is one thing, that's whatever. But is that there are still Turn 10 wanted to go be taken seriously with this one. They really dropped so much of the flash and fanfare. But the problem is, I felt like they were trying too hard to do that. Like, there's no music in the game. The game's very sterile. Like, you'll have some really cool, almost industrial deep house kind of wave kind of music in the menus, like really chill. And then you'll have no sound. And then the game tries to really, I feel like tries too hard. I think in that regard, in terms of full sim-based complexity, it maybe fails against GT on some specialist area that I don't appreciate because I'm not a simulation professional driver, but you can't remove the feeling of the handling in the game. I think that's so fundamentally to what is a good racer that you take that away and say, oh, GT is more sim-based because it has this and that. But I'm feeling the difference on the tires. You've got this new system where the tires wear down. You have to go to the pit to get them changed. Or you have fuel management now. It hasn't really been an issue for me so far, to be honest, apart from like one race. But the game actively encourages you to put simulation steering on, getting those maximum XP points. It's a very good game. Like, I'm genuinely surprised at how good this game is built. It's built to last. This is the one game I said you don't need to release another sequel for. For 6 years, you don't need to release a sequel for this game. Just support it properly because there's a lot of content missing. And that's where the problem. Another problem is. The 2 points has got fucked on reviews. But
when you say that though, so you're playing the game at the moment, right? And you say there's like a lot of content missing. I know they're missing drift racing and some stuff like that. But does it feel light on content? Are you approaching it going, oh, don't really find much to do? So
it's
what's
not light on
missing?
content at all. It's just well, Nürburgring is such a fucking big track, man. Like that's a racing track. Like I want to fucking drive on. Normally when I haven't played, when I was serious in the motorsports games, I would just go straight to Nürburgring. It's a classic freaking. Can't have that. They've got a little mini circuit of it, which is okay, nice, but I want the full thing. Split screen, yeah, I don't really use that to be honest, but yeah. But there's no music or anything. Which, you know what? Another point that I don't think fucking no one's talking about. I need to see comparisons of audio because the audio on this game is fucking mad. Bro, I've never heard, like, you always see these in Forza Horizon 5, you updated the audio, how the car sounds. But in this game, the 3D spatial audio is so good. You can hear the car like just coming in, and you can hear the roar of the different type of car, like to yours. And it's so, of course, that's why I turn off the music. That's why I don't care. I can play my own Spotify playlist if I want to. But this game is just an audiophile's fucking wet dream. You get all this like go over curbs, even like that sound mixed with like the tarmac. The weather conditions actually change the feel on track dynamically. So it's such a good game, man. It's such a good game. I just want to spend more time on it as well. But the career mode, it feels laborious. That's the problem, because the idea is you build an affinity with your car. So you pick one car and you're just subjected to a load of races in a playlist, and the feeling of progression, you don't get enough credits for winning the track. And then now, in order to update your car, you have to get enough sufficient high level up to unlock stuff. It's a big risk that Turn 10 took. And I feel like they should have known some of their playtesting that they need to be a little bit more generous on the tokens that they're giving away. Unlock the car so you could feel the car evolving as you go through these races. If they did that more effectively, then they would probably nail home the feeling and realization of that. And I feel like a lot of people playing this game won't understand their intention. I don't think the game will relay that. So in that sense, you can say it's almost failed. But I felt it. I felt like the improvements, but it's incremental, too incremental. Feels like too much of a slog. Yeah, these and then we go on to the visuals. Now, the visuals side of things, the visuals are beautiful. They're beautiful. Like some bits that just look amazing. But the problem is they use this weird lighting system. So 24 hour, like whatever, cycle, day-night cycle. And for some reason, when it's like sunny out, the game can look so bland. Like it just looks bland. Like this doesn't even look better than Forza Motorsport 7 in some places. And you're like, what? This looks like weird, because that had a lot of baked lighting and a lot of that Dubai like mountain area. And there's another map, the Brazil going down like Rio. That was like, it looked mad. It looked crazy. And you don't feel that kind of look at all in this game. You don't look at the Ferris wheel or look at that structure or the levels. You don't get that at all in this game. But then the lighting is correct, and either in evening or even especially at night, then it's just pure looks cut cuts out all the fat, visual noise, and almost gimmicky stuff of like the Dubai and the Rio big structures, because the racetrack, the way the lighting and the performance RT looks, subtle things makes it look great, but it's still too diluted on the Series X, man. I feel like if you go from quality mode or visuals mode to performance RT, you really see the drop off. Like you can actually see that in one instance. So when it's doing the countdown, 3, 2, 1, that will be in quality mode. And when it goes into the race, it'll go into whatever mode you pick, so performance or performance RT. And I think like I was expecting the cars to look a little bit better. The cars have these weird, I can see some aliasing in the wheels, or the wheels are doing this weird animation. I think Digital Foundry talks about that, and I could see that. Some little ghosting as well on the side. But the cars don't have the sheen, the kind of sheen that I wanted in Gran Turismo. But then in some conditions, it just kills the way GT looks. It looks so real. Like, it looks photoreal. And I think a lot of people are like, some like IGN. So this week, IGN, Dustin Laguerre, he shared those. You must have seen this, Luke, like him sharing the pictures of Forza and then GT. And then it's just like, you must have saw, what did you think of that? Like, that's fucked. That looks pretty shit, no?
Well, I thought they both looked good, but I think this is with the yellow car, isn't it? That comparison. I
think a yellow car, and there's a blue one.
And then there's a blue one as well, yeah. So you did the side-by-side screenshots with the yellow car. I can't remember what the car was, same track. And they both look good in that, but like I knew which was which immediately just because I've played GT7 enough. So I think for other people who haven't, maybe I don't know what the split was like in terms of replies of people saying which they preferred, left or right, on that one. But I think it looked pretty even. But
on the yellow one,
And on the blue one, there was that initial issue, wasn't there, when he recorded it with the gamma washout, which looked crap anyway, and then obviously re-recorded it with the correct gamma. And I don't know, like, I think the thing with racing games, and GT7 suffers from this as well, I will say, and I'm sure you've noticed it, is that they can either look just absolutely incredible or really bland and boring. It just entirely depends on a lot of different factors, including the car you're in, the time of day, where the sun is relative to the track, weather, and all that sort of stuff. I think GT7's like some may disagree. GT7's lighting looks better to me. Now I've not played Motorsport, but it has a more dramatic, like, it's more contrasty and dramatic. And I think for some people they may prefer that, they may not. I really love GT7's lighting system. And it's got great car models as well. I think Forza, from the bits I've seen, it looks like it does weather a lot better in terms of rain effects, especially. But I mean, I won't know direct comparison until, because I found this with GT7 as well. I think some people often, when that was being revealed, right, and they were showing gameplay of this, you watch a video, and I remember watching it and thinking, this doesn't really look that good. I wasn't really impressed when I was watching videos of it. The minute I got it home and booted it up on like an OLED with HDR on and stuff, it just blew me away. I was like, this looks really, really good in person.
What, that little Toyota Aygo you get to race at the start?
Just a little. Yeah, that did not make a good impression. That one, that one looked really bad. But once you get into some of the more dramatic tracks, you can pick all that sort of stuff. It looks great. So I feel like probably Motorsport is one of those games. I mean, you can probably attest to that, where it probably does look better right in front of you playing the game than it does in recorded video.
Yeah, no, it does. It does.
But I think maybe the problem was, to some extent, people were expecting more from Motorsport, it being not a cross-gen game, solely developed for next generation consoles and stuff. And I mean, I think it looks great. I think there's some visual issues for sure. From what I've seen, like, the ray tracing is not as promised on track. Like, it's there, but it's certainly not what they were demonstrating back at the Xbox showcase and stuff. It's not that expansive, but they're still doing it real time on track, to some extent, which is a tick over what GT7 does.
Absolutely.
it's got great cube maps. You know, there's all the footage out there of the hood camera view.
That's not good. Oh, that cube map. There's others on the roof of the car.
Yeah, they're not very good.
Yeah.
You can actually, I think the PC version, they update 1-to-1 for frames on the PC version. So, because I think the problem on console, why they don't look good across the roof, is because, it's 30. But on PC, you can adjust that so you can have it 1-to-1 with whatever frame rate you're going with. So that would look smoother and better. But
so weird that they didn't allocate resources for that roof, because I think that was a fundamental misstep there and the visual thing of it.
Yeah, so I think it's like it's just, I mean, I won't know fully until I see it in front of me, and obviously I'll be able to run it, you know, kind of at its best. But
yeah, you're gonna be running on your PC with ray tracing on your bro. You're gonna be in for a treat. The game looks fucking crazy. Just on I was playing on quality mode, which is 30 frames, which is sacrilege. But playing on that, I was like, oh my god! Even the blandest, like, you know, sunshine midday track just looked amazing. Like the way the light wraps up, the ray tracing is put up high. Everything was just so much sharper on quality mode. I was like, this is what it's supposed to look like, but at 60. But bro, if it looked like that on Xbox, it thoroughly would dominate PlayStation in quality mode. It looks that good. But it's not in the performance RT mode, which is the main mode for this game that most people will play. Digital Foundry also recommended. So there are very good touches. It's not inconsequential. The bits that it does shine are bits like the lights bouncing off the color of the paint of the car being reflected back onto the road, like through lights. But it's very subtle. The reflection side. Did think on the game showcase event it's too mirror-ish, like a mirror, but in this case the opposite is true. It's very subtle. But I'll tell you that you'll do races in some tracks like at night or evening, and with the lighting of like lampposts and other light sources mixed together and the lights bouncing off other cars, the ray tracing is not inconsequential. It's so additive to the visual fidelity of it, because your eyes, Forza 7 had so much visual noise around the track to sell the spectacle, and here Turn 10 are just stripping it to its core. They really want to be taken seriously with this game, and just the feeling of this game combined with that AI thing. Now, how good it is compared to GT, I don't know, but I've seen some bits where the cars just ram through other cars, and Forza's AI is like, that's a bit weak. That happened in the old guns. I remember GT always had that veer around, but then playing GT versus Forza, it's like no AI, because of even that element of AI making mistakes, or you'll see AI jostling for position against each other in front of you. If it makes the tracks feel so more dynamic than I have experienced in a racer like this, it's just like it's even on the visual front, people will have their cake. They'll say this. They'll pick one over the other, and I can see why. It's just so close. Both games do something so well, and the other's just weird.
Are you playing it on a HDR display, Gaas?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's HDR? Because like GT7's HDR is phenomenal. It's probably still the best implementation out there. I
think the HDR might be better on GT. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not sure. My experience of the game was pretty lackluster, but what I'm missing, what I haven't done, are like some of the night track races, because I'll tell you what looks good in GT when they play on that Japanese highway, Wangan Highway, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So good. I want to race in that kind of environment anyway, because I love that kind of environment, but also it looks good in GT. All the best screenshots come from that. Videos come from that, where everything is nighttime for GT. But it's a good video. I like that. I like that track. I wish Forza had a track like that. I was praying, like, please have a nighttime track. But there is a nighttime, like, there's one of the levels where it's switched at night. It's so raw, so fast. The sense of speed is so good. Feedback is so good, man. Like, audio is so good. It's like they really I did not expect to be taken aback like this, like in terms of the thing, the overall package. And that's by saying that, also basically saying that Forza 7, in terms of the divide between its racing pedigree and GT7, most of the reason why Forza did well is, well, some could argue the visuals are better, but then there's whatever, I won't talk about that. Or the structure of the campaign and the way it presents itself and all the options you have on modifications plus liveries and all that stuff, but not pure racing angle. And I think Turn 10 wanted to really put that to bed. And I think they've done a very good job. Very good job. So when I did see like some like Super GT's a YouTuber, he was just like, I think he's quite knowledgeable on this. And he said, I think he gave GT a clear win, but I don't know. His critiques, I have to defer to his judgment because he's way more knowledgeable than me. But I expect what I feel like will happen is in a few months and weeks, other professional racers are going to be picking up, because today I was seeing some Japanese racers picking up the drifting and saying the feeling in this game is amazing. So when you see a Japanese person getting into Forza, then testing it in the racing pedigree, I'm expecting to see a lot more of that. People will start playing that more and they'll feel, hey, you know what? This is actually freaking good in this area. But let's see. Well, that's Forza. And then the Metacritic score, it's at an 85 right now. For GT is at 87. Does that mean that Gran Turismo has stolen the racing crown? Yeah, maybe. It depends if it matters to you. I don't know. But ultimately, I always viewed it as the Metacritic score has to be higher, even 1 point higher. And it wasn't. So that's why on socials, like, for the first time in his life, Nick Marseille won. And I lost for the first time. I said, Nick Marseille, you deserve your flowers, because GT beat it. And
I had no idea that he was involved in the development of the game, or that you were involved in the development of Forza. This is an interesting contest, all of a sudden.
Yo, man. We did free marketing for those bastards, both of us. So, yeah. Thank you. I will accept the congratulations.
You're not even getting a participation medal for that shit. You sit down.
Come on, man. At least participation award, bro. But yeah, no. GT has won, bro. If some reviewers out there just. If you want to give it a 10, just do it. So imagine if it creeps up to 87, because it went up from 84, could go 85, could go down. Oh shit, no, Metro hasn't done its review. Fucking 83 out of 100. They're going to fuck it up. And then Jim Quisition's going to say something. Oh, I find cars oppressive. 2 out of 10. Boom, there it is. Fucking great reviews. Media. This week we also saw the release of another good, eagerly anticipated game, a Ubisoft game of all games. And I was actually excited about this game, despite the fact that it's fucking Assassin's Creed and we've been playing the same shitty game for ages. But this one, Assassin's Creed Mirage, is supposed to be different. This is going back to what made it great. A lot of people said, make it good, strip it back, it's much better. So it feels like when it came out, and the Metacritic some 70 something. What is the Metacritic for this game? But like it didn't hit the way it's supposed to. Let's be real. And it's almost like I feel like the developers are saying, "See, you pieces of shit. We told you this game, this model is old school and it's outdated, and you guys and the reviewers were gonna hate it. This is why we didn't make the game." I feel like Ubisoft is just saying that, man. I just want to say, shut the fuck up. We'll do it properly. Do it properly. I haven't even played it, so I don't know why I'm blaming the developers. But, Fame, talk to me, bro. Are you an Assassin's Creed fan? Were you looking forward to this? Are you still looking forward to it?
You know, sometimes you got to just let things be the way they are and be okay with walking away from it. LV1gaming.com, shameless plug, right? We gave it, I think, an 8.2 out of 10.
You reviewed it? 8.2 out of 10.
I didn't review. My team just they reviewed it, right? Gave it an 8.2. They enjoyed it, and I talked to them about it because I was interested in picking it up because of we're going back to the glory days of Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah.
And from what I've been told of what I can see, yes, it is more focused, being back focused on the stealth elements, right?
Yeah.
But then people wanted that, but then they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, the combat sucks." Like, but yeah, because you're not meant to be out here like you're playing fucking Valhalla, and and the combat just is a great thing. It's all about stealth. You'll be rewarded for stealth, and the game is not meant to be played as a, hey, surround me and let's get into a fight. It's not meant to be played that way.
Yeah.
And so for a lot of people, that's a turnoff for them because they've strayed so far away from the focus on the stealth elements of the game. The series needs to. God, I don't want to be this person. The series kind of needs to go away.
I think so. I agree.
I think it needs to go away. Not necessarily think it's bad. I just think it's in a weird spot, and it kind of needs to go away from where. And they need to figure out what they want to do going forward. We can't just go back and it's like you were saying. People saying, well, we told you this style of game is what people wanted, and they gave us that style of game. And for nostalgia purposes, you're like, oh, snap, okay, we're back to the OG days. You're like, wait a minute, but what I love about the newer games sucks now. And as far as the combat goes, but then the newer games don't have the stuff element. So as a company, go ahead.
I see. I don't know if that's the case. I think that assumes that Ubisoft did that formula well, but from what I've seen of Assassin's Creed, you don't just like, it's not pure assassin stealth game like the first game. I'm seeing the guys teleport into your assassin teleporting from across the map. You've got this feature where you teleport in this and you glitch out in the whatever it's called, the Matrix thing, and it's just like all digitized. I'm like, huh? Like the whole point of the game was you strip it back, make it simple, make it why are you relying on these gimmicks for combat? Like you're just teleporting everyone, doing key assassinations. Like I didn't expect that. The things that excited me from playing the first one were it still had some semblance of a believability a bit. You felt like you're going down the streets of, like here and it's in Baghdad in Iraq, and you want to feel like the map has like density and weight in order for that to happen. You bring back to Assassin's Creed 1. It was very close and personal when you do remember playing it. And the FOV seems to have increased every time the sequels come out. But you want crowds of people milling around. You don't want to have icons, everything, silhouette around everyone. It's so dumb. Just strip it back. Kill the UI. Don't give any prompts to the player. Just the players find this player, this guy in the street. He should be at this market, and he's got a red scarf. And you walk through, you bump enemies through. And this is one of the things every time they show on the trailers, they always show the assassin's walking into a crowd, and he's bumping around or whatnot. But in the game, that feeling is not translated well. It seems to have gone away from that. And that's
there's no win though. There's no win for Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed. That's what I'm saying. Even if you got the subsection like you're saying, let's just strip everything away, then you're gonna have a bunch of people that's gonna hate that too.
Absolutely, because everyone is
in a very
crowd.
weird spot. It's in a very weird spot, and they need to pick a path or just.
They're having the cake and eating it though, Fame, because they're not just making this game. This was the outlier. They even have made it clear this is the shorter experience. The main experience is back to whatever you guys like. So let's see if that comes out. The next Assassin's Creed, whatever the hell it's called, I don't even know anymore. And that scores higher than this, which it should do. Then a lot of people will say, well, that's the end of that discussion about bringing back to that, because you clearly don't want that. Reviewers prefer this. And maybe that's, an answer to the purists who might, you might disagree with me. I'm actually with you there. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting one. There's a busy year for gaming. And then this year we also have Alan Wake 2, which is coming out this month. When? Soon.
End of the month, I think. 20.
Oh man. And yeah, and they got Spider-Man as well. Like, what the flip? That's a crazy year. So Assassin's Creed is gonna, I don't know if it'll sell well. Or maybe it has already because of this whole nostalgia feeling. I feel like the community is enjoying it. I feel like people sharing stuff on Twitter said, no, this is a fun game. But I have to play it. I will actually play this. We didn't get to talk about games we played, man. Can we talk about Cocoon for a bit? Cocoon is really cool. Tell me you guys have played it. Nope.
I haven't, but it was one of my most anticipated games of the year from when it was revealed. It's got the game designer from Inside and Limbo, right? Yeah. And I just thought the moment it was revealed with the trailer, just the setting alone and the concepts just blew me away. So I was really looking forward to it, and I'm really happy that it's had the reception that it's had, and seems to be a fantastic game. So I can't wait to play it. I tried doing Xbox cloud gaming on my Steam Deck when I was abroad, and then it was like, no, because it's not available in Greece. So I was like, well, that's fucks my holiday then. So like from a Cocoon perspective, because I thought like it's a great game to play on a handheld, you know, if you do cloud streaming. But yeah. So now that I'm back, I'm looking forward to playing it.
Okay. By the way, we've got Destin Laguerre in chat. He says, hot take, Forza is amazing. I think it goes toe-to-toe with GT7. Destin, you can't sit on the fence. We don't like fence sitting here. You fucking pick a side, bro. You think that tactic's going to work here? You're going to have the little easy, oh yeah, Paris Lily moment? No chance. Give us an answer. Pick a side, bruv. Oh, they're both good. Shut up, bruv. You're all Team Green, Destin. Don't even deny it. You're Team Green. Say Forza. Say Forza. Put that propaganda out there now. Use your platform. But seriously, pick a position, please. Yeah, Cocoon, bro. What, you know, I was with you when I saw it. I was like, this game's fucking incredible. Hardly anyone's talking about it when it came out. I was like, this game is sick. And I was like, well, what's Cocoon? It's so fucking annoying. Everyone's like, oh, no, we do like indie games. And then this fucking beautiful game comes out. Hardly anyone recognized it at the time. Some people did who had some taste. And then when it came out, it's 89 meta or whatever, but it's just such a fun game. Like, it's just like you're on a trip. So the music is wicked. The visuals are crazy. Okay, I'll pick live right now. I'm Team Racing. Team Racing game. What the fuck is that kind of answer? iRacing. No, Destin. iRacing. Yeah. Okay. Fucking iRacing. iRacing is actually pretty. No, anyway, I'm not going to talk about iRacing. But Cocoon. Fucking Cocoon's visuals are sick. Like I didn't. It's like insectoid / mechanical stuff. So cool. And the music is mad. It's very Blade Runner vibes of whoa. It's like, yeah, I feel these balls. Yeah, it's all about balls, to be honest with you, this game. Just massive shiny balls. But that's why I like it. No, that sounds fucked. No. Nah. But yeah, this game is fucking amazing. Play it. So good, man. The vibes are sick. Music is sick. Graphics are mad. It's a short game as well, although like the puzzles are really cool as well. Such a nice game, man. Indies putting everyone to shame. Talking about Assassin's Creed Mirage and shit. They just make these beautiful games. Yeah, sorry, so Assassin's Creed Mirage. But then, so as the celebratory noises of GT besting it by 2 points on Metacritic, the other news that was going around the stables two bouts of bad news. Naughty Dog, you start the lead monetization guy, the main guy who makes this thing profitable, left the fucking company, so he's gone. I'm like, oh shit, so they don't want to make money now. And then other people are starting to leave, and it's like, oh shit, this sounds like 343. Actually, so contractors, loads of contractors, because they rely on contractors, are leaving. So like, yo, well, these guys are the Naughty Dog's not looking very toasty right now. Then boom, bang! You just hear it's on ice. There it is. The project is stalled. We don't actually have a definitive answer, but come on, bruv. The Last of Us Factions has to be cancelled at this point. Am I crazy, Luke? Am I fucking crazy? Put some makeup on. No, talk to me. Am I crazy? Does this look fucked up?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think. Well, I mean, you are crazy, but not for this particular thing. So, but I think like I think Factions is probably done, like as in cancelled. I know Kotaku said it was basically on ice, according to one of their sources. And given the monetization guy is gone, it doesn't sound like there's a pathway for that to release, at least in its current form. Yeah. Which is really strange because they've been on that for a long time, right? And they seem to be making pretty good progress until Bungie came into the room and just tore it all away by all accounts. So it's a bit strange. And then with the layoffs, I think there's 25 to 30 something. Apparently they were mostly QA. There were a couple of other roles as well. So yeah, apparently, yeah. So it's not as. I mean, it's still not great.
It's not ice, and they leave.
Yeah, exactly. Like the two things in tandem aren't great. And then obviously we got the LinkedIn post as well about about a remaster. So
can't believe that.
Yeah, so it's not been a great week for them. I think at this point, it would be better if they came out at least with Factions and said what's actually happening. If it's cancelled, then I think that's not fine, but at least you want to hear straight from Naughty Dog, right? Yeah, we're scrapping that project. We're moving on to our next game. I think leaving it in this kind of public limbo state makes people a bit, agitated. Because but I don't know if they'll do that. Like, I don't know if they'll come out publicly and talk about the project. I mean, maybe they will, or maybe they'll just slip it in when they reveal their next big new project, their single player, and go out, Factions, actually we're not working on that anymore.
That's exactly how people think they'll drop it. News.
Yeah. So it's possible. It's possible Druckmann will just slip that into an interview at some point and just say, yeah, that's not happening now, sorry. But yeah, let's see. I mean, it's personally, I think I'm not even a big multiplayer fan, but I really liked Factions, and I think there's the kind of the seeming scope that they were going for this, Factions 2, which to me always kind of from the concept arts looked like a kind of Division, Last of Us type hybrid kind of thing. That looked really cool. That could have been a really, really good concept. Yeah. So I'm surprised that they just kind of went, nope, you can't monetize it well enough. Go away. So it's strange. It's strange.
It's fucking crazy, man. Like, if there's any other studio of Microsoft, you'd be like, they are gone. Well, actually, that happened to a couple of their titles. But this is pretty fucked up. Fame, come on, man. Naughty Dog. Should we give up hope that Factions is coming?
In honor of Destin Laguerre being in the chat, I want to channel his meme with the 1080p and 720, and we're gonna say on ice and then development hell. Because since when did on ice become a thing when every other studio, if they're having problems, development hell? What's going on?
They're leaving. That's a sick point. This is sick point.
Everything, but at PlayStation, we gotta, baby hands. We gotta be nice with them. It's on ice for now.
Oh shit! I didn't even clock that.
It's the development hell.
It's
development hell.
So true.
You took this game. I guess you had grander ideas for it. You took it out of the Last of Us. We're gonna rip the multiplayer out. We're gonna give it to you later, right? And now we're hearing that the Last of Us 2 is about to get remastered, special edition, director's cut, part 6 again. But then you can't give us one multiplayer game based off of the multiplayer game you've already made. It's development hell. Let it die.
Yeah. Preach. It is. Why are we not using the word development hell? Actually, it is so loosely used all the time. Yeah, here you are. You got Bungie reports of stalling and sending back to the drawing board. You got people leaving the thing, and then you got a report that development has halted. That's development hell, bruv. If the development is on ice, that means it's not even being developed, bruv. That means that's it. It's frozen, bruv. Like Madonna's song, "When Your Heart's Not Broken." But it's fucked. It's fucked. It's on ice. It's stalled. Why do you stall a project? Because you have to either go back to the drawing board, which is what Bungie suggested to them, no? Like, this is not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when the thing is, when I hear development hell, I think of like projects that from their inception have really struggled, and you've had changes to the development team and kind of mini reboots of a project or significant reboots of a project, and then that's kind of dragged on over a number of years, and the game doesn't release, and blah 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 blah. Weirdly, what this sounds like is development was actually going quite well, and then Bungie swung into the room and said, actually, this isn't good enough at all. So, like, go back to the drawing board. That doesn't sound like hell. That sounds like a development tornado just wafts straight into the room and just knocks everything out of place, which is, I mean, it's just as bad. The end result is the same, except in development hell, sometimes these projects come out, whereas it doesn't sound like this one's going to. So, you never know, they're going to surprise us, and boom, no, this is all wrong, it's coming out. But that's not happening because they're not saying anything, and you're right. Yeah, they're just not talking about it.
The irony of Bungie, the studio that created Halo, that was synonymous with making Xbox great, went into your best studio and said, what the fuck is this? Hard reset. Come on, ponies, come at me, bruv. You know it's true, bruv. That's why it hurts. Fuck.
And everyone's using kid gloves. Everyone's using kid gloves because any other studio would not be getting this grace. Like you literally took this multiplayer out of the game. You took it out to try to make it great or make it better, and then you pretty much killed it. And then you're gonna try to give us another game without the multiplayer. Any other studio, any other developer would be getting reamed. But this PlayStation, kid gloves. I don't get it. And it's kid gloves. It's kid gloves. Call it what it is.
Down to the terminology. You see, when it's development hell, you call it ice. And when it's Gran Turismo reviews, you call it a love letter to gaming, and control and paste that shit across 10,000 publications. Great. Replicant, thank you for being a member of 5 months. Turn 10 is breaking Asa's heart. That joke's on you, Replicant. Asa doesn't have one. Nintendo Duck with a $5 super chat. Did Nick actually win? Nick Marseille, I think he's referring to. GT7 only scored that high because they added microtransactions and slowed progression after the reviews went up. That score is a lie. Actually, yes, Nintendo, for once, you speak the sensage. Bruv, that is a big thing, no? Come on. When it happened, you were pretty scathing about that. You said that's a bit dodgy. And
I also quoted that where they got that idea from. Do you remember? Who wrote that playbook?
About the past.
Okay.
but they did it. They did it, all right? Fucking, it's even worse that they did it. They saw how bad it fucked Forza up. And you know what they said? They had so much hubris. They were like, fuck it, we'll do the same thing. But we'll do it after the reviews come out because everyone else and all the freaking integrity and shit. Come on, bro. That is significant. I've seen nibbles. It's just like damage controlling. Well, actually, formatively, it doesn't affect the fun of the end. Shut the up, man. That is a piss take, Asa. Doesn't matter who started it. And you said it was a piss take.
It is. It still is a piss take. It was a piss take when Turn 10 invented that practice, and it was a piss take when it was copied with Gran Turismo. Fortunately, Microsoft have actually moved away from that. So they did, hopefully that's not coming for Forza Motorsport. Obviously, they are going to monetize it after the fact, but they're not doing the same thing as they did with previous releases. It was Forza Horizon 2, Forza Motorsport, 6 and Forza Horizon 3 all did delayed microtransactions. They waited for those launch reviews to come in before they came out. So it's not a big surprise to see it in a Sony game as well. The other thing about the microtransactions, though, is people always say, like, you can play the game and ignore them. And I never feel that. I always feel they're just nagging at me to buy them, especially with all the complaints that you've seen this week about the timed your car is sold out kind of show front store that you get on Gran Turismo, where you go and look at the rotating cars, and if you get the timing wrong, then your car is not available. And if that's not trying to FOMO you into dipping into your microtransactions, I don't know what is. Like, that kind of stuff is shite.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say with Forza and Forza Horizon, the delayed microtransaction content didn't really make a massive difference. The game would have scored the
problem with those
it.
ones, like historically, so they released it was 5 that came out with the Xbox One, wasn't it? And the Xbox One, it was like really fashionable and popular to hate. So Forza Motorsport 5 got ripped apart for having microtransactions. And the following game, Forza Horizon 2, or whichever number was next, they were like, well, we'll just put them in a couple of months later then. So it was slimy then, and it's slimy now.
But it didn't formatively affect the I mean, I don't think the game's review would
I don't think you can say that. I don't think you can say that about those and not Gran Turismo. Exactly, but I think it does impact your experience. For me, it does. Like, to each their own. Some people can say that there's a store and they don't care. Like, oh, I can grind those credits. It's all the same. But if I'm looking at a car that's costing like 20,000 credits in whichever game it is, and I'm working out the best way to get it, if the best way for me to get that is to go and work in McDonald's for a couple of hours, then that's taken away from the enjoyment of the game. Because it is just like it's throwing these options in there and saying you should go and spend.
Reduces the value, you mean? Okay, I see what you mean. My point was the game is fundamentally the same, but your point is much better, where its later introduction retrospectively just drags the game down.
Well, no, whether it be late or whether it be at launch, a game with those kind of microtransactions like pulling your attention away or just like trying to get you is less fun than a game that doesn't have that for me. So it's not so much the timing. The timing is sinister in terms of like getting those review scores to drop and all the rest of it. But the inclusion of them makes for a worse game than a game that doesn't have them. Even if you can say, oh, I'm above this, I'm not going to spend any money. They're still there. They're still annoying. And they're still part of the industry because they need money to keep supporting these games. So.
And then you also saw this thing where they had... Well, then they had digital scarcity in these games. So you can only buy games for a limited time. What is that? That's bullshit. Come on, man. What the fuck? What is that? What is
exactly
that?
What I mean when I say that when you look at the microtransaction store, if you know that car might not be available in a couple of hours and you've not got time to grind those credits, that's
But why digital scarcity? That's such a prick move. Trying to put that in there.
Generate another code. Just generate another code.
Maybe, I don't know. It's fucking, it's just stupid. I think it's stupid. Like, that's just like, even Mutahar and all these bigger YouTubers like picked up on it. I was like, yeah, wait, hold on, what? But that was dropped tactically before the Forza reviews. It goes both ways. God Emperor Sofa King, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Mismanaged PlayStation Studios. He says, well, no, Naughty Dog definitely is. And if by next year we don't see some of what the bigger guys will be doing, that sentiment will be echoed next year across other studios, not just Naughty Dog. Then you're gonna look at, I don't know, studio that made freaking Ghost of Tsushima. What's it called? Suma? What? What's it called? I've lost my Sucker Punch. That's it. My brain stopped working.
Got you, Gaas. I got you, baby.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Sucker Punch's next game, man. Even if it's Ghost of Tsushima too, I did not expect to like Ghost of Tsushima so much. It's such a good game, so I do want to see Sucker Punch deliver some madness.
It's going to be Ghost of Tsushima racers because they got to get them gas games out there, baby. We got like 20 gas games to get the microtransactions going, baby.
Bro,
really makes you question how badly monetized must factions have been for it to like, we need 12 gas games, but we're not going to do The Last of Us. Something's going horribly wrong, right?
Yeah, man, that's crazy though. That's crazy. I think though there'll be a greater pressure though because it's Naughty Dog, and the thing is, Bungie coming in to say it's not good enough might not be in terms of, we don't know on what basis they don't think it's good enough. Maybe they don't think the monetization program is not good, or the incentives are not good. May not be from a gameplay point. Although No, then it wouldn't be ICE. That's a smaller affair than fixing the game. Why am I giving them chances? Fuck off. Spartan661 with the $5 super chat. Development hell is always reserved for describing Xbox devs by the media bias. I guess Sony goes skating on ice, if that is what you call it now. Skating on ice. Shit, Spartan, bro. Dropping bars. That's true, bro. Terminology is so important. I think there's like a lot of reverence for Naughty Dog, so there's a lot of careful, and there is, I don't know, like we're not going to get express statements because Xbox first party studios, you ask and pressure, what are you going to do on Twitter? Shuei Yoshida just puts pictures up of like milkshakes and stuff. He doesn't talk about gamers and shit. They're all the execs like there for, but Xbox is obviously there. Phil Spencer and Aaron Greenberg. Aaron Greenberg just retweets all the high reviews for Forza. But Phil Spencer, because he's the marketing guy, but Phil Spencer, when he speaks on something, he's like, yo, last time he spoke was what? Jim Ryan, saying he was a fierce competitor, but respect to him. I'm just putting my source video with this Nintendo guy. Just like, fuck you, shut the fuck up. You're gonna buy Nintendo. It's like, yo, fucking this industry is hilarious. Silent Cypher, thank you for the $5 super chat. Gaz, with our current luck and Sony's trajectory, it will be Ghost of Tsushima remaster. Then that's what we'll get instead of Tsushima 2. It's true, bruv. I mean, we didn't talk about the fact that this fuckery, Naughty Dog are making The Last of Us Remastered 2. Are you taking the piss, bruv? At least one was called a remake. Now you just, what? The game looks better than so many games out now. Why does it need a remaster, man? Like, come on, PlayStation, but some PlayStation fans defended that as well. Like, also what? Everyone's going to buy it because of sales. I'm like, fucking sales, then I'll be excited for Minecraft Legends and all this shit that Microsoft releases. No, man, just come on. Don't defend this. Like, they're taking the piss, Horizon, then they're doing this, and then Jim Ryan leaves. If I was a PlayStation guy, I would be pissed. But as an Xbox guy, I can laugh at it because, fuck, if Xbox was doing that, I'd be so vexed. It's like, come on. The Last of Us 2. Look, that's just taking the remaster. Again, give us something new. These guys are fucking lazy as fuck. I'll say it. Lazy devs. Actually, it's a senior point. Sorry, I'm going on one. But it's obviously the senior heads that actually make that decision. The developers are like, fuck's sake, we're going to make this again. Well, just give us something, man. We're dying here creatively. We want to make something. And you just want to make us the same shitty game because it will sell good. Luke, I've lost my mind, obviously. You tell me to add some sense to this.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what it is, because obviously the terminology was just from that LinkedIn post that referred to it as a remaster, or it wasn't even a post, it was the guy's profile on LinkedIn, right? If it's like, it's funny that you talk about Ghost of Tsushima, that had a director's cut, right, which was kind of an upgraded PlayStation 5 version, and it already had the Legends mode in there as well, and I think that also came with the Iki Island DLC. And I think if I remember rightly, if you owned Ghost of Tsushima on PS4, it was like £10 to upgrade that, or £15 or something like that. If it's something like that, with some justifiable-ish PlayStation 5 features, bump to resolution. Bearing in mind it already has 60 FPS on PlayStation 5, because they did like a semi-patch or something like that. And if it's got some extra content and stuff, then that's less egregious to me than if this is something that's fully repackaged as a, there's no upgrade path on whatever this product is, and you have to go out and spend a full whatever the price is. Right?
What do you think is going to happen based on your observation of
I don't know, because
you don't know?
Well, no, here's the thing, like Sony have done this kind of stuff for Ghost of Tsushima. They did it for Spider-Man, right? That was another upgrade path game. Or I think you got that with Miles or something like that.
They tried to do it for Horizon. They tried, despite the promise.
Yep.
Did they do it for Horizon? I know that was
they
rumored.
tried to.
They went back on it.
They tried to do it.
Of course they did.
And
Yeah,
everyone's like, shut the fuck up. You literally said this. Go back. It's like, oh, shit. Bloody, we gave a promise.
Yeah. Jim had to come out, didn't he, and talk about it. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know which, because they're out of their minds if they don't do an upgrade path and they just release a standalone product for that.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
I mean, they could do. I don't know. But I also think, I mean, the thing that people aren't talking about as well is how does a PC version of that game fit into this? Right? Is this a repackage also for a PC version, which we don't have? We don't have a Last of Us Part 2 on PC. I'm not saying the remaster is just a PC version, but how does that? There is going to be a PC version of that game, so how does that tie into whatever the PlayStation element of it is? So I don't know.
Oh man, if there's a PlayStation, there will be that PlayStation 1, and then the PlayStation guys PC guys will be like, we're playing the definitive edition of Last of Us. That will the ponies up so much. You have to watch that. It's gonna be mad. Thanks for telling me that. Sorry, I distracted you with my petty console wars.
No, but basically, to sum up, if this is just an upgrade path, and if you have Last of Us Part 2 and you can upgrade for £10, £15, whatever, $10, $15, then I'm not against that in principle if there's enough to justify the 10 to 15. If there's not that, it's fucking stupid and just like a joke.
Even if it is that, though, right? It would be free if it was Microsoft, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
At very least, it's a Game Pass, so you're like,
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Exactly.
Move on from it, you know.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
But in this scenario, that upgrade path is the lesser of two evils. So I'll take that. So
they're not doing the upgrade path. I'll be surprised if they do the upgrade path. That's how much I know Sony want to squeeze. I'll be happy to be proven wrong. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't be happy.
What do you think they can do, though, Gaas? So if you're looking at like what The Last of Us Part 2 is already, so the PlayStation 4 version that runs at like 1440p 60 on the PS5, they can add some haptics to it, maybe like sort out the spatial sound if they didn't already do that. But how are they going to justify it to their fans? Because Last of Us Part 2 does still look really, really good. There's going to be a PC version, so you can see some development going on to make the PC version as good as it can be. But The Last of Us Part 2 was good enough for a PC version, like as it stands right now today. So what can they even possibly do to justify people spending money on a remaster for the PlayStation 5? Because the hardware can't do that much more, can it?
Hey, so they don't have to justify to their fans.
I think they do a little bit
because it has a PlayStation logo.
No, so there was a lot of noise around Part 1, but Part 1 was like you could sort of partly justify it.
Yeah, Part 1, I felt you could. By the way, I bought Part 1 because I'm a filthy Naughty Dog slave. But you can value is entirely subjective, right? But I think you could look at that game and go, at least visually speaking, that was completely rebuilt from the ground up. So you could look at that and look at the price and go, for some people, I really loved it. You could go, okay, I can see where the money, where that goes. But as you say, for this one, there's nothing they could do beyond a resolution boost to a native 4K on PlayStation 5 or close to it.
Not even much headroom for that, is there? But...
Yeah, no, exactly. And haptic integration and maybe some spatial stuff. None of that stuff would justify
and the PlayStation 5 Pro. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit more headroom when the Pro comes out, but still.
Yeah, but the thing is as well, like I can't see this being a particularly big project for Naughty Dog anyway, right? I would imagine it's quite a small section of their team doing stuff on this. So because how do you actually go in and like justify? They're not going to make new content for the game. There's not going to be DLC. They've already said that. So as you say, what can they offer on PlayStation 5 that could justify like a big price or a higher price?
I fucking love Blaze, man. Blaze, as we're talking about this, Blaze just fucking pops out of nowhere. Fuck Part 2 and Neil Fuckman. It's like Blaze 4K is one of the purest PlayStation fans out in the space, bruv. You have to respect that guy. He's been in this space for time. He is a pure, none of that bullshit. Blaze 4K is a PlayStation guy. So when he comes in and says it with such violence, fuck. And then Jess says, Bay. That's right. Hi, Bay. Jess Corden. Bruv, Blaze, just sign Jess Corden's chest for some reason because just come to Xbox, bruv. They're taking the piss out of you, bruv. You got better. You know, your traffic will be higher. You know, there's a better community. Let's join. Well, I know you're a PC master race now, actually, which is actually the place to be. Which is where I'm going to be. Peasants, console peasants. I'll still be an Xbox guy. Come on, Xbox and PC. It's the same thing anyway, isn't it? Kupo.
If I can, if I can, and asking PlayStation, telling them they have to justify what they put out, it's like telling Apple to justify giving us a new iPhone every year. People are going to buy it. They're going to buy it. They're going to say, hey, here's one little whistle, and we're going to charge you full price, even more than the phone you have last year, and it's almost the exact same, right? When it comes to PlayStation, I look at them like Apple. Because it's such a big brand and a big name, people are going to go out and buy it because it has a PlayStation logo. It's just like the iPhone. How many of you people went out like, oh, iPhone 15 titanium, and you just bought an iPhone 14 Max Pro Deluxe Edition with the extra lube on about it? You just bought that, right? But you go out and buy a 15 because it's brand new. So it's the same way. Like you're gonna get a PS4, PS5, PS6 because it's PlayStation.
They're gonna
right?
clip you.
So when they bring out The Last of Us Part 2 Super Buff Abby Edition, you're gonna go buy it. Why? Because it's PlayStation. They don't. I get that they should justify what they're doing, but they don't necessarily have to because the brand is so big, so synonymous with game, and so recognizable, and the fan base is so in love with what PlayStation does that they can do the bare minimum and it'll still sell. And shout out to him, game recognized game. If a pimp gonna pimp, they gonna do what they do, right? Shout out to them.
Big Bad Mo, shout out to you because no, fuck Apple. Yo, bruv, I'm sorry, but he spoke the truth, man. PlayStation got, you know, the best defense for I have seen for this, it will sell. It will sell. Like,
it'll sell, and it will.
Are you serious? That's your defense? It will sell. Even you straining to come up with reasons because you spent ages saying it was the most perfect, beautiful game, the definition of perfection. So you have literally scope creep. You can't even fucking chat shit because you've been chatting shit for ages. It will sell. That's your defense? Come on, man. Like, for fuck's sake. The Last of Us 1, I agree with you, Luke. I think that's fine. Yeah. The remake, they put some stuff in there. Like, okay, you know, bought up the systems, upgraded the AI, even though it wasn't perfect. Far from it. But whatever. But ultimately, Asa, to answer your question, they're at net negative as a result of Factions not being out. Faction hasn't been out for years. They're taking the piss, bro. So they got the benefit of the doubt. We're doing something ambitious. Then they show you, after years of waiting, a concept art. And they say, well, next year, we're going to show you something. Next year, we hear all this stuff from third parties. And Nintendo, Naughty Dog haven't even said anything. Did Naughty Dog say something about, did they give any indication of where this game is?
Or Factions.
I don't think they have.
Factions.
The last that I heard, so they did their concept art. They said very little about it, and I can kind of understand them not addressing it because what leaked was, like Luke said, it was based on like a LinkedIn profile or something like that, and that will be picked up by a very relatively small number of people that actually follow things that closely. As soon as they address it, then it's picked up by a much larger audience. So I get why they don't want to talk about it, regardless of what's happening with the project. They were supposed to be working on a big sci-fi game that took cues from Elden Ring with its world building and stuff like that. So hopefully that one's still underway and like is their priority for their most talented part of the studio. But
as much as I hate ponies, I will say I hope that game's not cancelled, man, because I want that game space-based, like trappings of like with Naughty Dog's level of talent. if they have anyone left now, studio's a shell of its former self, potentially. But yeah, that space game, I want to see that. Like that is the source, bruv. If you have that, I imagine that's still. I hope that's still being worked on. But you know, the pressure's on next year. Pressure's on next year. If next year and the showcase, state of play or whatever happens, and it's not, there's so much pressure on PlayStation. But does PlayStation feel it? Because the console is selling like mad. It's already exceeded. Did you know it's exceeded PS5 numbers? PS4 numbers? I'm in America? I think I got that right. That's fucking crazy, man. Do you know how crazy that is?
As soon as those limitations went away, people went out and bought it. People who couldn't buy it before, they're buying it now. And I mean, it's a good console with, you know, good games, but I'm not shocked.
Bro, yeah, no, you shouldn't be, because they've been released. Bro, the fact that they've been PlayStation 4 obviously means that the audience has inflated quite a bit since the PS4 generation. But to do that in 3 years, like, the consoles are selling well. Now you might think, oh yeah, well that's great, yeah. Well, the more popular it gets, the more Apple it becomes, and the less of an incentive to prioritize games like the ones we just mentioned, because you're going to release a remaster and get this new audience. And you know, it's just like, is the hardcore element of PlayStation diluting? I think PlayStation's best game is Returnal by a margin. God of War Ragnarok having gone around to completing it, so derivative of the old game. PlayStation needs to become weird and have that magic, and I think it will do that because of the ABK deal. Without it, it doesn't even feel the need to be risky. But yeah, Shabs, thank you for the £10 super chat going Kupo. Speaking of Kupo, by the way, thank you for that, Shabs. Final Fantasy 16 is not even anywhere near the top downloads list on the PlayStation. They just, Sony in their blog released yesterday, day before, a list of their top downloads. And guess what? Right at the bottom, number 20 or 30 is where the exclusives are. Everything else is multi-plat. Like everything else. Baldur's Gate was there, so they were like, hey, look. It's so funny. It's like, look, Baldur's Gate came second to NBA, like NHL or something. I was like, oh my fucking days. But it came second, a third-party multi-platform timed exclusive. What the fuck, man? And then everyone's like, oh, these games, what do you expect? Like, all the exclusives are old. These games are 5 years old. I'm like, sorry, where's Final Fantasy 16? Where is it? It's not there. It's not fucking there. Like, and you've got old games like Anthem and some shit was there on that list. Like, bruv, the audience is changing. That's why they're like just gas, more gas.
Anthem's not on there.
Not Anthem. What was it? It was an old game. Let me pull it out now. I said something so crazy as Anthem. I was going to guess at Anthem. What was it? I've got the list. I'm going to put it. So we've got, here it is. Look, in order on the PlayStation 5, NBA 2K24, then Baldur's Gate, which I'm surprised about. They actually bought. They bought it, but they won't play it. PlayStation guys will not play that game. Mortal Kombat 1, EA Sports, Madden NFL, The Crew Motorfest, actually a really good, fun game. Payday 3, GTA 5, Lies of P, which is on Game Pass. What the fuck? You got? Thank you for Game Pass model. Cyberpunk 2077. After all that, that's when Cyberpunk comes in. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, then Armored Core, which is a great list. Way too far down, man. Marvel's Avengers. That's the one I was thinking of.
Marvel's Avengers was delisted at the end of September and was sold for like £1.99. Yeah. So I'm surprised that one's not higher.
Makes sense.
Oh, okay. Well, fine. I'll give that. But look at the whole list. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What is this? Hogwarts Legacy from months ago. Resident Evil 4. And then it's like, well, sorry, COD was there before that, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. There's loads more before that. And then you've got Miles Morales. Like, that is a few steps down. Spider-Man 2 is coming out. Surely you would expect some sales in the lead up to that from the buzz and excitement, right? Like, should be shown that no.
Is this for the whole year though? Because like,
No, it's
for
just
example,
September.
I don't think
this is just September. Yeah,
it's just month
okay.
on month.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
next month, before you say, oh guys, are you gonna say anything? Yeah, next month Spider-Man will be at the top. But then the drop-off will be substantially quick. Where is Final Fantasy 16? Obviously, the Xbox guys don't buy that game. It's not even charting. Spartan661, thank you for the super chat. Because Jim Ryan believes in generations. He wants last generation's games to be his on this generation, on the PS5. Sean Layden can't get his trophies he earned. That is such a good super chat. That is so true. When does Sean Layden put into place a lot of the policies that led to the games that have been releasing now? And this is what they were talking about on Weapon Wheel podcast. And I think they all agreed by consensus that what we're seeing now, the games that we're seeing now are by design a part of the legacy of Sean Layden, not Jim Ryan, who came in 2019. And his changes have yet to be seen. But by the very suggestion of Gaas moving to PC, all of that strikes at the core heart of what PlayStation for a lot of the fanboys is about. But the company is transforming its vision completely, and you're just posturing, holding on to that notion that they're not doing that. Cannot, in the face of this blatantly obvious change. But like we heard this week, Asa, that internally they feel like Jim Ryan vision for Gaas just might not be the right one. And this is where a lot of people were talking about, like, okay, fine, whether or not he got fired or whatnot, or whatever, if it's nonsense or not. Then this is a big point. Like, we're hearing internal rumblings. I think it came from Bloomberg. I'm not sure.
It did come from Bloomberg, yeah. So the rumblings were that I don't know how many, but that internally in Sony, a lot of the big flagship development studios are uncomfortable with the shift towards games as a service because it's just not what they're used to making, and they're not necessarily experts in that area. And that echoes what most of their fan base feel, because everybody is worried about the push to games as a service, as far as I can tell. And obviously I look at small circles and could be completely wrong about the wider audience, but it vibes with how I feel about games as a service. I don't want Sony to pivot in that direction. I understand the need, and I'm not sure it's entirely Jim Ryan's fault that they're doing it, because there's a lot of pressure from above to do that. It's just where the industry is going. But then you look at games as a service across the industry at the moment and see the number of them that are failing, the number of them that are getting cancelled. Like Ubisoft cancelled multiple of them. Hyena's just got shut down. All of these games as a service projects around the industry are struggling at the moment. So if you are sitting there in Sony and you're looking at, like, has our CEO navigated us in the best direction here? Are we on point? Are we going to capitalize on this? Is it healthy for the company? There is a whole lot of risk. There's every chance. Like Jim Ryan said, we're not naive. We know that of these like 11, 12 games, maybe only 2 or 3 of them will be a success. That might be optimistic. It might be hard to get that many to be a success. Time will tell. But I like their other kind of games.
Yeah, I like the other kind of games as well. And I think there will be a significant acquisition. Let's be real, that will change the entire conversation. But I think Sony has enough of a buffer where it can withstand some big failings because of its console sales. They're very high. The profit margin, I'm sure, is very high. Plus the subscriptions, their own subscriptions, they're charged through the roof for. So it's not like console's gonna die. Obviously, that can
also
happen. But
there's a slim chance, because games as a service and essentially multiplayer games do kind of go hand in hand, and a lot of people have been demanding multiplayer games from them for a very long time. So there's that chance that they thread the needle and actually do something really good with it, and it benefits all of us. We get PlayStation-centric multiplayer games that we have been asking for, so it's not completely out of the question, but it's just
I don't see it as this is a failing legacy. By the way, I'm a bit dubious because Last of Us Factions is a startling example of where at the highest level that's not working. But if you assume that the rest of the studios aren't in a state of turmoil like Naughty Dog is, then I truly believe that they have the capacity and ability to deliver something very, very good in the multiplayer space. And I also think there's a perfect storm brewing right now. A lot of people are jaded with Gaas, but there's also a big demand for good multiplayer games. This year, what's come out that's good multiplayer? Like, not think COD Modern Warfare 3 won't be that game either. It's going to be COD. I don't think it's going to be like Modern Warfare 2, although they have the classic maps from Modern Warfare 2, like Afghan Terminal. That's how they get you, motherfucker. I was even looking at it, and I was like, oh, you got Afghan Terminal, well, all the maps from, I think, Wasteland as well, for Modern Warfare 2. It's like, oh, man. And the other one, it's just going to be, it's just the beta's out. I haven't played it, actually. I should try and get into the beta. But it's on PlayStation. But if the Xbox, you're right, if PlayStation, I do think the PlayStation will do it, bro. I think the pressure is too high. I don't think Japan will allow them to falter. For them to even permit Bungie to have the, not even authority, but to pull back development of Naughty Dog's game, I think they deserve enough of a benefit of the doubt, in the sense that if they did come out and say, look, it's healthy and this is quite ambitious, I would listen to them. A bit dubious about their ambition, because I think they oversell quite a bit as well.
Yeah, I'd go the other way though. I would take, and I don't want to speak down on them too much, but I would take Bungie's oversight and influence as kind of a negative, because I don't like the Destiny model. So when you talk about being skeptical and dubious of the direction that Sony are taking with Gaas, if they are following the lead of Destiny with engrams and shaders and all of this kind of stuff, then actually that doesn't instill massive confidence for me.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. It was Bungie that got this game back to the drawing board, and it's Bungie that's an example, not a great example of dealing with those elements of those games. And it's still
by the numbers. If you're Sony and you're looking at some spreadsheets, I'm sure they're a great example to follow. But
that's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't like spreadsheets.
Literally, yeah, exactly. We don't like spreadsheets, but a lot of people play Destiny, and they play and spend that money. They paid $3 billion for the studio for a reason, man.
I also find it quite, I don't know, not strange as such, but Sony acquired Bungie for their expertise, well, partly for their expertise in Gaas games, which makes total sense. But by acquiring Bungie, they also acquired one of the most successful Gaas games on all of its revenue in Destiny 2, plus Marathon and whatever else Bungie will make, all of which will be Gaas games. So you would think that the pressure on their other studios to make successful Gaas games would at least be somewhat mitigated by the fact that they've got, a developer publisher who's, at the forefront of the industry in terms of, right up there, like probably top 5 in terms of successful Gaas projects. So that's why the things like the factions thing just puzzled me a bit, because they can't expect these games to be as monetarily successful as stuff that Bungie's made, because that's an outlier in terms of what Gaas games are doing across the industry. So and I also think, like, going back to the Jim Ryan thing, it's really difficult for Sony. They're kind of in a difficult position, because I think if you look at someone like EA, for example, they heavily pivoted towards Gaas games years ago, saw that wasn't successful at all, and that they should kind of hedge their bets on projects like like FIFA and Madden, which are very successful Gaas games for them with annual releases, and then actually go the other way and go back to the single player experiences that can be very, very successful and very profitable still. And I feel like Sony are kind of in this, the ship is so large to turn now, where they may have gone, actually, look, the spread of this probably isn't right anymore given the state of the market, but having to turn that ship now is going to take some time to get them kind of on a balance back to, I don't know, maybe more single player orientated projects. So it's quite interesting, but we'll see what happens.
I'd love to be a fly on the wall and on PlayStation. I'm probably not understanding everything because they're speaking Japanese, but if I could understand what they were saying, I'd like to be a fly on the wall in their meetings, because there'll be some, I'm pretty sure, animated, very interesting discussions happening about the future of PlayStation. Before we read these super chats, Fame, like, what do you think PlayStation need to do? We all talk about, like, oh, Gaas is bad, this and that, but if you're PlayStation, are they not making the right moves? Like, what would you do?
All jokes aside, when we talk about the Last of Us factions being on ice or delayed or development, whatever it may be, it's because their first true dive into these Gaas titles, it has to be a hit. Because if it comes out and they got the first 2, maybe 3 games and there's other failures, then you got to look at a company that's going to have to try to make a complete 180 to going back to focusing on who they are, and that's going to cause even bigger delays in the games they already. Because this year alone, it's just Spider-Man, right? Yeah. I can't think of any other game from PlayStation that's released this year, right? And we're used to them releasing a multitude, maybe 2 or 3 games a year, right? So if we know they got these Gaas games that are coming, and if they don't hit, if they're not good, at bare minimum good, at the very beginning, then you have it, like you said, being a fly on the wall. I would like to hear the conversations of, hey, we made a mistake. We need to pivot back to who we are and focus on what we do great, right? That's what I want to see. And they have to hit, because Microsoft has already given you multiplayer games. They're giving you stuff like, if you hate it or love it, you got stuff like Sea of Thieves, right? That's continually doing good. You know why? Because how you can tell, because it's still up and running. It's still getting new content,
expansion
right?
packs,
PlayStation
marketing.
would love, as much as they have the Spider-Mans and the Wolverines and the God of Wars, PlayStation would love a Sea of Thieves.
Absolutely.
A title that they can continually push out updates to, continue to make money on. And that's why whatever comes out first in these series of Gaas titles, it has to be a hit. Because again, we're already hearing stuff about what, like Asa was saying, how there are some people are comfortable with the Gaas move, right? So if they're already uncomfortable and the games aren't being received well and they're not making money off of this, I would love to see how hard they pivot, because they'll have to.
I think you're right.
It's going to be interesting.
I think you're right. I think that's what would actually happen. If that first one, or say 2 Gaas games, being generous, but if those first games don't bang, then PlayStation, like, their development of their games takes a while. Now, it depends on, they have 10 Gaas games. Which one of the budgets has the big budget one? We don't know what these projects are. But the first one will have a massive look at, and that will send shockwaves throughout the industry. Because if any developers looking to develop Gaas, and Sony's first Gaas attempt comes out and it fails, then that might be the one that actually just rallies everyone to just going to really en masse move away from Gaas. Because I feel like the industry is almost looking towards Sony now as the last bastion of, or an indicator that Gaas is dead. Sony, the number 1 player in this game, is commissioning 10, is going heavy on Gaas. No one else is doing that. Who else is doing it?
Everyone did that. Gaas isn't going to, like, you may be overstating what Gaas is, because like people have said in chat, things like Gran Turismo 7 and Forza Motorsport, those are games as a service. They're platforms that they can keep monetizing forever. So the industry's not going to move away from that. As soon as you take a game and you monetize it after release, that is essentially a game as a service. So we don't know the extent to which Sony are diving in on it. This is why I say that if you look at Bungie's influence and the Destiny model as like your kind of template for what a Gaas game is, then I start to get more concerned than if you just say they're going to be monetizing their multiplayer games in the way that Sea of Thieves or Gran Turismo 7 or Forza Motorsport, or I don't particularly like the monetization of Gears 5 and that, but those all count as games as a service because they are monetized.
So you're thinking they're not standalone Gaas games? When they say Gaas games, they mean an option for a multiplayer and a single player game?
I don't know. I don't think that campaign. So the industry's moved on a long way. It used to be games that were going to be monetized like that in the way that Halo and Gears were. Like, you'd expect a campaign and people were upset by it. Perception has shifted so much so that you don't need a campaign in a Gaas game anymore. I suspect they're 11 or 12 Gaas games.
One of those kind of games.
Like, there might be some examples that are bolted on with a campaign or a story or something more single player centric, but I think most of them will probably be like all in multiplayer. I don't think that the industry is going to move away from monetization in that way, or Gaas in that way.
That'd be interesting. Okay. I feel like their range of 10 games would be like those. They would have been like the knockout. There will be a few knockout cities in there. That's what I felt like of the 10. They have to, if you're them and you're like, well, everyone has managed to capture a little audience, and you want a broader range because you don't want to vie for attention of the same market, like compete with yourself with 2 Gaas games. You know what I mean?
And you've got
like
so the other thing about the single player campaign side of it is if you look at something like The Last of Us having factions decoupled from it, that makes a lot of sense, because when you are trying to get that monetized tail, you want to typically reduce like every barrier of entry, which is why free to play is such a popular model. That whole model kind of comes apart at the seams if you are making a big campaign. So I think they'll probably have that separation, because that's just how budgets are allocated these days. But
yeah, okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see where they go with this. Nintendo the Otaku, thank you for the $5 super chat. I hate that I have to fight PlayStation fans for their own game. The Last of Us Part 2 is better than Part 1, and in every possible way. Uncharted 2, Joel wasn't your daddy. Whoa, beef. PlayStation fans reading that, they're gonna be writhing around. They won't say it, but they will be, kind of. But I still haven't played The Last of Us 2, so it's like, what's wrong with me? But I just like the appeal isn't there. But some people tell me like it's a very good game. You know, the thing that people complain about, I don't know how much I would hate it for the same reasons. Like one of the biggest complaints about The Last of Us, but I haven't played it, is that it's really hard, like hard work, like just relentless. At the end of it, you kind of almost welcoming the end credits, just like, but it's really hard. The story's bleak. It's like a Black Mirror episode mixed with freaking, I don't know, Requiem for a Dream. It sounds like it's hell. But that hellish kind of like, there's a smart narrative play there where the developers are trying to instill a message. And Naughty Dog and their storytelling is quite advanced. They're very proficient storytellers. So they'll probably want to relay that kind of feeling. So I'm a bit like, maybe Nintendo is right. And I still can't get to fucking play this game. I just can't drive it. No pun intended for golf players. Silent Cypher with a $5 super chat. They'll probably release The Last of Us 2 Remaster console bundle and mimic the Spider-Man bundle. Actually, probably true. 19 sullen inches of Joel in the box. For diehard fans, the stupid 19 inches meme, bro. Well played, Silent. That would sell. Sony did it. They would do it. Luke, you will see it happen, and you'll buy the statue as well, and then I'll be judging you. Fair enough. Silent Cypher, thank you again. He goes, Baby Steps, game of the year for sure. I don't know what game you're talking about.
Baby Steps is the game that opened the Sony State of Play thing.
Yeah. Is that out? Yeah.
No, not out yet. No. So Devolver Digital.
It just to make memes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just to take the piss out of the
it may get that only up type of, Valer.
Might get that cold. Following.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be good, actually. Quite funny. Because you see, I need to play only. No, I don't. No, I can't hate it. Facebook. Face, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. It goes, regardless for how many Xbox fans try to downplay PlayStation is a household name. I'm going to add reverb here because you're just giving speeches. PlayStation is a household name. It will always sell. That's why Phil wants to put it on Game Pass. Why does he put Game Pass on PlayStation? They can't reach the subs of Xbox alone. Face really, like, what are we downplaying PlayStation for? We literally said they own did we? What? Okay, it's maybe not directed to us, because I'm like projecting here, but literally said how crazy that they're selling the PlayStation 5 is insane. It's selling like mad. So we can downplay PlayStation. Bro, Face, it's okay to say that PlayStation's fucking around and PlayStation guys are concerned, man, because that's what they are. Go on Weapon Wheel podcast. Go on Blaze's show. Blaze will tell you like ad hominem. Not ad hominem. Fuck you bitch. Sorry, what's my opinion on PlayStation? Look, come on, Face. PlayStation, we need to see something. but they're doing well. And Spider-Man 2, when that comes out and gets like an 89, 90 meta, and then everyone's going to be like, see, you guys are worried about nothing. We're doing really well, delivering amazing games, reviewed really highly, and they're selling. What's your complaint? And we'll be like, it's still Spider-Man though, isn't it? But I will. No, just like it's fucking Spider-Man. I don't rate that game. Phase 23, Brooklyn, New York with $2. Thank you so much. MLB Show and GT are Gaas games. Yes, they are. The question is, what are these 10 Gaas games going to be? If it's something what Asa suggests, I think it's going to be a little bit more gassy than you think. Nintendo under the Otaku again with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Because we don't want content in our games 20 hours or less. We don't want MP modes. We don't want day one first party in PlayStation on PlayStation Plus. PlayStation is a cult. Right. I take issue with one of those things. So we found out that Spider-Man might be like 30 hours long or something, like, or 20 maybe. And I'm like, so what? How long do you want these games to be? They just pad and bloat them out. I'm like, just give me more 20, 15-hour games. I will take it. Give me a 10-hour game. If you condense all the dankness into this sick little 10-hour experience, it will leave an impression. The gamers want longer games. Like, I don't know. I feel like
we want our money's worth, Gaas. If I feel like I got my money's worth, I'm satisfied, dude. Honestly.
I know the $70 thing puts a lot of pressure on it because it's a lot of money. So now there's more pressure for you to deliver content. And I feel like sometimes maybe developers think they can get away more easily with the bloat because at least it's better than being content bare. Even though, like, look at Forza Motorsport. It's got a few modes missing and some tracks and stuff. But it's still a very full game. Like, there's a lot there. So it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of pressure on studios now, and there's no real answer. You don't know what the meta is going to be. Is it going to be Gaas and you're like an indie developer or mid AA developer? It's not. It's a very tricky position to be in because it's so damn expensive. Yeah, it sucks, man. It sucks for developers as much as we laugh about it. It's really very risky. But I feel like where the industry is heading is going back to where it was good about it, by the way. I feel like, look, we're seeing the Cocoons and all of that. We've got so many games like that this gen already. So I think it's pretty good. Sorry, I blabbered on there. This game, the Redfall, finally got a 60 FPS patch and nobody cares. I don't care. Nope. I don't care. I don't care. And everyone's like, Gaas, like I said that on Twitter, and I was like, oh, you're such a pony. Have they changed the AI? What they look? Everyone's Asa, will you play Redfall at 60 FPS?
I did play Redfall at 60 FPS because I was already playing on the PC. So I'm more interested in the fact that they said the map is more populated now. So maybe it can be a little bit more fun to go in and play. And never mind the art style. I really wish they would rework the lighting so that it was dynamic rather than all baked in. But am I going to go back and play it? Only if people insist that I do on a Sunday. I've downloaded it just in case. It doesn't massively appeal to me though. There's a chance that I'll dip in and see what's going on. Still, having said that, I'm glad that they have gone back and fixed it. It would have been worse because they promised, right? And you want these companies to be held to account when they say they're going to do something, and they promised they were going to deliver 60 frames per second. So they've come good on that. Props to them for doing it. They had, I think it was Pete Hines. It was someone at Bethesda said that they anticipate that Redfall will be still like a really good and appreciated game in like 10 years time. So they're going to keep on working on it and improving it. You never know. Maybe it will get a little bit of a redemption arc, and maybe this is step one.
Thing is, there's so many things fundamentally that needs to fix. But if they, the big fundamental one is AI, that needs a whole full-on change, mission structure, a lot of things. But if they have the appetite to do it, and I mean seriously do it, then it could be something really special.
What I find funny, like over and over again, though, what I notice with games is it's actually sometimes really fine lines between a good game and a bad game. And you look at the ones that have had their big redemption arcs, like your No Man's Skies and your Cyberpunks and your Sea of Thieves and all of that, and you actually break down what makes them good and what makes them bad. And usually when you're playing the good version several years later, so many of the things that you grow to like about that game were actually there all along. And I don't know, I've not played enough Redfall to really like get to grips with it and see if actually that potential is in there. If there are a slew of good features there with a bit of refinement, a bit more like linking them together, maybe it will be something people appreciate, but I can't call that. I don't know. I've not played enough of it. So
I feel like the skeleton sorted out and he's a massive thorough building from the ground up. For me, repurposing AI is a fundamental one. If they do that, then I'll be interested in saying, okay, you've done the 60 FPS, you've fixed the AI, changed it madly, not just throw more on a hollow world. And then I'll take notice. I did look at it. I saw the list. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it, 60 FPS and some additional content. No, fix the game. But you know, all the more power to the developer to do it. As much as I make fun of that and being a dick on socials, I will say, like, openly, I want this game to have its redemption arc, because that would be incredible. That'd be incredible, and also show that Microsoft doesn't just allow projects to just tank and give up. Like, that's a good redemption arc. That's a very good one, like with Sea of Thieves. But the challenge is there. I'm not holding my breath though, because Xbox is a lot more than Redfall. So there's that. So we got that news, and really, I think that's pretty much all the topics. Spartan, thank you for the $2 super chat. If Game Pass is available on PlayStation, they wouldn't pay for PlayStation Plus. Absolutely.
Facts.
Why would they? Facts. It's true. It's true.
I wouldn't buy an Xbox either. I would have a PlayStation 5 with Xbox Game Pass and have all my Xbox games.
Same. Well, on my PC. But yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. It's an interesting gen. I feel like some major changes coming, man, with the platform holders shifting. And you just don't know what it's going to be. Next week, it's going to be the big shift that I'm talking about. It is the CMA deal we're expecting to hear that it's wrapping up next week. Now, imagine if it didn't. Imagine us. It wouldn't even fucking surprise me. But imagine if it didn't. I don't know what angle. Luke, you're the man. There's nothing that can fuck you up, right?
No, not at this point. Unless the CMA, I don't know, just lose their minds, I guess. No. I mean, at this point, it's done effectively. They'll wrap up. Well, they should wrap up their report next week, their final report, and then they'll close it at phase 1. They'll accept the undertakings that have been offered, and it'll be done. They'll lift they'll give consent under the final order of the other merger, which they put out, which actually blocks what Microsoft want to do, because they still have to kind of waive that as well.
Okay.
So they'll do those two things in tandem, and they'll kind of give full consent under the new merger arrangement, and then also waive the order from the old merger arrangement, and then that'll be it. It'll complete.
Oh, wow.
Done.
Boom, straight away. That will be a big event, because it has been 20 arduous months and discussions of heated discourse that sent the industry on a frenzy. But my God, it was big. It was a big battle. It almost failed and came back, man. This is crazy. So we're going to find out next week what's happening. It's done. It's done. It should be done. Who knows? Something will happen. Nothing will happen. Hopefully. I don't know anymore. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Hit that like button, man. Shit, about 453 people still watching it. It was sick. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we go, Asa, what's next?
What? Is that it?
In your life?
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. I played Immortals of Avium through to conclusion. It's really bloody good at the end. So that was a thing that happened. I'm going to keep. Well, it does not put its best foot forwards. The first 2 or 3 hours, you're like, all of its flaws are right in your face, and you'll definitely see them. But by the end of it, yes, it was good. I liked it a lot. So that's a thing. I'm going to be doing, I don't know, more stuff, streaming, VR, all the rest of it. And yeah, thanks everyone for coming along. Thanks for, apart from that Jet fan who's yelling about Florian again. Florian owes Luke an apology for being so condescending when Luke was right 100% of the time. And I don't think that apology has been forthright. So that's all I'll say on that one. But yes, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. People still don't get it. Bro, this is like there used to be a documentary on some people, bro. Like, this is how people came into power. Like, just completely, the guys were wrong. Bro, what is going on? So dumb. I can't do this. It stresses me out. The stupidity. Literally, it's been completely wrong. And he's like, thank you. It's like, because the result wasn't passed. Just fucking. Luke, I hope you had a good time.
I did. Thank you.
Hope everyone could find you.
Yeah, no, I did I had a great time, as usual. And only like the tiniest amount of ABK, so it was even better. Like, just at the end, just, you got to get some on, but afterwards we can't. You should do like a retrospective just to piss Acer off, like a retrospective.
That's what next week's gonna be.
yeah, 2 hours, but it's looking back. So no, it's great, great to be here as always. Find me on Twitter, X at LukeSteele90. I'll also be at EGX if anybody is going to that in the UK next week on Friday and Saturday. So if you see me, if you're there, say hello. I'll be around, and then otherwise you can see me on the Indie Gamer channel as well. We'll talk about indie games. So yeah,
thank you, man. I've had a wicked time as well, man. It was some jokes. EGX, I might try. I might try. I doubt it. Damn. Last but certainly not least, Fame, brother. I hope you had a good time, man. Tell the people.
Listen. Great time, man. I appreciate you allowing me to come on your podcast and scream for a couple of hours. I know I'll probably scare Ace. I'm like, why do you keep bringing this dude? He's always screaming on his freaking podcast, man.
The quiet ones.
Oh, nice. Hey, that works, man. But yeah, man, I really appreciate the invite and the opportunity to come out and have some fun with you, man. It's always a blast, dude.
Thank you, man. It's always a blast. Likewise, man. It's just kill it as always. Someone's gonna clip what you said. It's look what he's saying. Gaas has these guys on board. Yeah, good. Nintendo the Otaku with the $2 submission. Thank you, man. Because I'm not done with work. Go another hour. I don't think my bladder can handle that. But plus, we've also expanded through all the topics. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Yeah, I'm playing games. I'll be streaming soon on my personal channel. You'll see some shit. Take care. Please hit that like button and see you soon. Peace.